Hey, welcome to Climbing Daily. Matt's on a bit of a filming mission this week, so I'm going to be looking after a couple of the shows. On today's show, we caught up with Jared Varghese, who is the climbing doctor, to talk a bit about preventing climbing injuries.
So my name is Jared Varghese, and I'm a doctor of physical therapy, a professor at the University of Southern California, and I write content for the climbingdoctor.com. The Climbing Doctor is a brand or a component that I developed several years ago as a web page and a resource to get as much information out as possible to climbers, how to prevent injuries and rehabilitate injuries.
Shoulder impingement, movement re-education. Climbing with the elbows above the shoulders in a chicken wing position can lead to shoulder impingement. To avoid injury, angle the elbow down and in line with the hand, allowing gravity to work with you.
It's interesting because climbing, there used to be not very much content on how to prevent injuries, and climbers would just go up to their project, get to the crag and just start climbing. I wouldn't do any warm-up, wouldn't do anything to prevent. And climbing's really been changing over the years, and the research is starting to catch up. And one of my goals was being a doctor of physical therapy and knowing how to prevent injuries is starting to combine what the latest research is showing with rock climbing. So I got into this over a decade ago, and I was getting my doctorate in physical therapy from the University of Southern California, and I was training for climbing really hard. And I started feeling some strain in my rotator cuff, and I started feeling some discomfort in my finger. But I kept training, and actually eventually I sprained the ligament in my finger and I tore my rotator cuff. And this was all when I was getting my doctorate in physical therapy, so I should have known better. But from this, I started mapping out the movement patterns in climbing. I started writing magazine articles. I started working with rock climbers, from novice climbers to the top professionals in the world. And I started realizing that if you can put this all into a system, that climbers can start to rehabilitate their own injuries. And this was the basis for the book. How the book's set up is there's basically, you need to first increase range of motion, which is mobility. You need to then increase strength, and then combine that all into changing movement patterns. And increasing mobility is quite easy. Within 30 seconds to a minute, you can make a muscle length change. Improving strength, that's at least 6 to 8 weeks before you can improve strength. And then movement patterns, that takes much longer. And the research to even ingrain a single movement pattern, it shows that you need at least 100 to 150 repetitions within a single training cycle. And so these are things that you have to work on, and they'll take more time. But not only do they prevent injuries, they also translate into improving climbing performance.
In the book, Dr. Varghese breaks down his rock rehab pyramid, the most advanced injury prevention and athletic performance system built specifically for rock climbers. You will learn how to diagnose, treat, and prevent the 10 most common climbing injuries in step-by-step chapters.
So I've worked with every type of climber, from novice level to some of the top climbers in the world. Jonathan Siegrist has been an amazing athlete that I've worked with. He's taken a lot of the content that we've used and really used it to the highest level. And him, Sasha DeJulian, Josh Levin, Sean McColl are all the featured athletes in the book. And so all of them go through these exercises and movements in the book. And not just their pictures, but their voices and their opinion. So also there's over 30 profiles, including Adam Andra, Hazel Finlay, that are in the book of what these climbers do to prevent their own injuries. So every individual has their own habits, and it's difficult to say that there's a blanket habit that every top level climber has. But one of the goals that I've been trying to do is to integrate injury prevention exercises into, whether it's novice climbers or professional climbers, into their routine. So the challenge I've found is if you're always on the move, if you're living out of your van, if you don't have a set schedule, it's hard to implement these exercises. You can have the best exercise in the world, but if you don't do it, it's not going to make a change. So for elite level climbers or professional athletes, finding a way to build it into their life, a warm-up program they could do at the base of the crag with a resistance band, and exercises that mirror climbing movement are the ways I've found that really sink in with them, and they're able then to apply to their climbing. The question is, how much time do you allot to your injury prevention exercises? And time is always an issue. And less than 10 minutes a day really is all you need to prevent your injuries. And I find that you don't have to do 100 exercises, you just have to do the 4 or 5 correct ones that will make the big change. So Climb Injury Free is the book that is available this summer, and it presents a rehabilitation and proven injury system for climbers. You can find it on theclimbingdoctor.com, D-O-C-T-O-R, doctor spelled out. And the video series is going to be available on EpicTV as well with the climbing movement. And you can also purchase it through Amazon.com and your local retail store.
Thanks, Jared. Jared's going to be releasing a 10-part series on EpicTV over the coming 10 weeks. First episode goes out this Wednesday, so be sure to check it out. That's it for today's show. We'll see you tomorrow.